Alright, I have here a package from ZiiCube. This just arrived, so let's get into it. Alright, so I have in here an invoice. First up we have a, let's see, so this is a QiYi 2x3x3. It's a pretty neat cuboid. I have here, ooh, this looks like a Dayan puzzle in here, just in a ZiiCube box. That's interesting. I wanted the original Dayan box, but that's okay. Okay, so this is a 1x3x3 cuboid, again from QiYi. This one has tiles. I have here a unmarked cardboard box. So let's see what this. Oh, this looks like the Alpha 5. That's really exciting. I wish it came in the original Alpha boxes, but it's okay. Here we go. Here is a Dayan ZhanChis 55mm. It does come in the nice Dayan box. It's interesting. Looks like the cube is not fully solved. Put that aside, and the last item in here is, this is pretty big. This is a, let's see, this is a QiYi 4-leaf Clover cube. It comes in this really nice looking display case. So that looks really pretty right here. Alright, so I'm going to go through the puzzles in order. Maybe not in order. Okay, so let's start with the QiYi 2x3x3. Now I have a 2x2x3. So this is similar, except it's a 2x3x3. Let's do first turns. Okay, pretty sandy. Otherwise feels good. Feels like good quality QiYi plastic. A little bit dusty out of the box. So it'll be really fun to solve this. It turns really nicely, really smoothly. Not really any corner cutting, but that's okay. Okay, now for the Dayan cube. Now I think this is the Dayan 57mm ZhanChis. Let's see. Yeah. Let's try to get this ZiiCube box open. Here it is. Okay, so It's a pretty old school kind of cube. I'm excited. I always wanted one of these back in the day. Never had the chance, so ZiiCube had them on clearance, so I decided to pick up them before they went out of stock. Okay, so right away, stickers are not completely flush. I don't know if you can see that. There's some lines, like indentations in them. But let's get to first turns. Oh, it's pretty nice. This corner cap is coming off a little bit. This feels like a really nice cube. Even by today's standards. Feels pretty speed cubable, and it has these interesting corner designs where it's not the squared off corner. It's very angular, very diagonal. So let's try to get out a piece. Okay, so that was pretty hard to get out. And yup, that is a Dayan ZhanChis design. The really strange, well, strange by today's standards. It has this really strange base. So the cube feels pretty tight right now, so I don't think popping is going to be an issue. Let's test out some corner cutting on this. So alright, so we can do on these tensions just about to 45 or so. And let's try reverse. Reverse is pretty snappy. On these tensions, the reverse is okay. It's not that great. It's probably pretty snappy because of these angled corners. We have this classic Dayan logo here. Really classic. Alright, so now let's check out the 55mm version. And the other version is 57mm, which is quite large by today's standard. Here we have a 55mm mini ZhanChis. Let's try to get this box open without ruining it. Alright. That's pretty interesting. It came not fully solved with the U2 move over here. Well, it feels just like the full-size version. This one is in stickerless, and these look like some pretty old shades. The white is the same. It's a very dark red and a pretty dark yellow. You don't see that nowadays. This green is also pretty dark. You might see something close to a dark green. This orange is quite dark also. So these are classic old Dayan shades. Let's get into some first turns. Okay, right away there's some spring noise. And doesn't turn as smoothly, although with a little bit of lube that can be fixed. So overall this does feel like a pretty nice cube, pretty usable. So out of the box it can corner cut 45 and can do a little bit of reverse corner cutting, but that is a very loud snap. Have some spring noise. And it's the same familiar ZhanChis mechanism. The really interesting corner stock. Nice, okay. Now for a cube that I'm really excited for. This is, you see over here, this is the Alpha 5. Now this is a really old school cube. This is pretty much before the ZhanChis. And I got this cube because, well, back in the day I always really wanted one, but I never got one. I had actually messaged the pretty popular cubing YouTuber Throst, or I think his name is Tristan Wright. His YouTube channel is Throst, and I asked him way back in the day, what kind of cube should I get? And he said, you should get the Alpha 5. It's the cream of the crop. Well, I was pretty surprised they still had these in stock. So now I have it. Wow, look at that. That is Alpha 5. And see, we have almost no rounded edges here. Just very, very slightly rounded corners and rounded edges. Let's get into some first turns. Wow, that is an interesting sound. That is... I don't think I've ever heard a cube that sounds like this. It sounds very hollow. And it's pretty scratchy right now. And the tensions are also pretty tight. Okay, so it's a little bit rough, a little bit tight out of the box. Man, it's just a cool cube. Really a part of cubing history. Okay, so let's see what the mechanism looks like here. This just looks like a Rubik's brand mechanism that's been modified slightly, and it's quite hollow. Wow, these corners are basically just a Rubik's brand mechanism. But you know, unlike a Rubik's brand, this cube can actually corner cut a little. So let's test out some corner cutting. So I can't quite do 45 degrees forward. Let's try reverse. Yeah, it barely does any reverse, but it's on very tight tensions right now. Now, something else interesting here is that you can see in these center caps, you can see they're sort of like on the edges of the center caps, there's some sort of protrusion or something. Now, I wonder if that's just how the caps were made. I wonder if I should be able to take these caps off to tension it, so, yeah. Well, there you have it. This is a tensionable cube, which was a big improvement. I'm actually surprised this came fully assembled instead of as a kit, because usually back in the day, DIY cubes would come in a kit and you would have to assemble it yourself and put in the screws, put the screw into the core, put in all the pieces, and it was pretty fun doing that actually. Alright, so here's a checkerboard pattern of the Alpha 5. You can see these are pretty nice shades. Compare them to, let's say, the ZhanChis. This green is actually kind of bluish. And this red and orange contrast could be a little better. It's still okay. And this is a pretty dark yellow and pretty dark green and a dark blue. Okay, now we have the QiYi 1x3x3. So this is a floppy cube, I believe. Let's get into the box. Alright, so it has tiles and it looks quite cool with the tiles. And the inner center is not exactly square, it has these concave curves to it. So let's try some first turns. Now that is pretty sandy out of the box, but it does turn pretty well. And this puzzle should be pretty simple to solve, although I don't know how to solve this. You can see this is a pretty interesting pattern, so it does shapeshift actually. Okay, so finally I have this big non-WCA puzzle. This is a QiYi Clover cube in a really nice display case. And this is quite heavy as well. This is a very large cube. So we compare this with the 57mm ZhanChis, and it's actually bigger. So this non-WCA puzzle is like the size of a 4x4. Alright, so I guess to open this, I will have to remove this bottom layer over here. Oh. Comes with this nice stand. Wow, this is quite heavy. This cube is really quite substantial. Really nice shades. It feels like a really high quality puzzle. So let's get into some first turns. Wow, that turns really smoothly. I got this puzzle because I have a lot of fun with my QiYi. That's a land QiYi, and I think edge turning puzzles are really cool. So here's another one. I don't know how hard this will be to solve. I don't think it will be too hard. This is just a really nice quality puzzle. So after I finished filming, I discovered that with the Clover cube, you can actually do these sort of jumbling moves that you can also do. Let's see if I can get it. This jumbling move that you can also do on the QiYi. So there we go. So that's pretty neat. Here's something I did not notice about the 2x3x3. So if you turn one of the layers like this, it would appear like you can't turn this face, but you actually can. This is super interesting, the way it just sort of goes behind the other QiYi. Can't turn it like this, but you can turn it like this. That is really cool. So this alpha cube right out of the box is really loud. Very hollow sounding. So the plastic of the ZhanChis is kind of this off-white grayish color, and the plastic feels a little bit different than normal plastic that came with either old DIY Rubik's brand type cubes or today's cubes. Alright, so there we have it. The order from ZiiCube. And you can see that the two ZhanChis are just a little bit different in size. I don't really mind either size. Not terribly fast. Speedcubing anyway. Alright, so let me know your thoughts in the comments if you enjoyed this video. And I'll see you next time.